Welcome to the quiet edge of the day. You have arrived at the threshold of night, a gentle boundary between the bright, demanding hours of the waking world and the soft, forgiving shadows of rest. Wherever you are right now, whatever weight you have carried through the long hours of the morning and the afternoon, I invite you to set it down. You have done enough for today. You have thought enough, worked enough, and tried hard enough. Now is the time to simply be. Listen to the stillness that is beginning to gather around you. It is a soft, patient stillness, waiting to wrap you in its comforting embrace. Close your eyes, if you haven't already, and let the darkness behind your eyelids become a vast, empty canvas. There is no rush here. There are no deadlines waiting in the shadows. No urgent questions demanding immediate answers. The world outside your window will continue to spin on its axis. The stars will trace their ancient paths across the sky, and the moon will pull the tides. All without your effort. You are allowed to release your grip. You are permitted to surrender to the quiet. Let us begin by finding the natural rhythm of your breath. Do not force it. Do not try to change it. Just observe it as it enters and leaves your body. Notice the cool, quiet air as it flows in, bringing a sense of spaciousness to your chest. And notice the warm, heavy air as it flows out, carrying away the lingering tension of the day. With every exhalation, imagine a soft wave of relaxation washing down from the crown of your head, cascading over your brow, and smoothing away the tiny lines of concentration etched around your eyes. Let your jaws soften. We hold so much unspoken worry there, so many words we swallowed, so much anticipation. Let your teeth part slightly. Let your tongue rest easily. Allow this wave of heavy, warm relaxation to drift down into your neck, pooling in the space between your shoulders. Feel those shoulders, which have borne the invisible burdens of responsibility, slowly drop a fraction of an inch, sinking deeper into the mattress beneath you. Your body is heavy, safe, and completely supported. You do not need to hold yourself up anymore. The earth is holding you. The night is cradling you. Asterisk, asterisk. A quiet corner of the world. Asterisk, asterisk. Before we drift deeper into tonight's gentle journey, remember to subscribe to Sleep Deep. Here, you'll always find peaceful stories that soothe the heart and quiet the mind. Where are you listening from tonight? Leave a comment. Your presence adds warmth to this quiet corner of the night. When was the last time you looked up at the night sky and felt at peace? If tonight's story brings to mind a beautiful memory, feel free to share it below when you awaken. Here, no one rests alone. Every story is a soft lantern in the dark. And if this space brings you calm, leave a gentle comment for yourself as a reminder of this tranquility. Tonight, we are going to journey far away from the concrete streets, the glaring screens, and the endless hum of human machinery. We are going to travel in our minds to places where time is not measured by the ticking of a clock, but by the slow turning of the seasons, the rising of the moon, and the gentle ebb and flow of the tide. We are stepping into a sanctuary that has existed long before us, a sanctuary of profound and enduring peace. We often imagine the natural world as a place of endless, restless motion. We picture a world of solitary creatures navigating a vast and lonely landscape, forever struggling against the elements and against one another. But tonight, under the soft silver light of a watchful moon, we are going to discover a different truth. We are going to look closely at the hidden fabric of the wild, and we will find that it is not woven from conflict, but from countless, quiet alliances. This is a journey into the art of living together, in every forest shrouded in evening mist, in every coral reef swaying gently in the ocean currents, and across every sweeping meadow bathed in starlight. There are unseen threads of connection. There are creatures, vast and microscopic, who have learned over millions of years that the truest way to find peace and safety is not to stand alone, but to stand together. They have forged silent treaties of mutual care. They lean on one another, protect one another, and share the quiet spaces of the earth in perfect harmony. Asterisk, asterisk, the symphony of shared silence. Asterisk, asterisk. Imagine, for a moment, the immense patience of the earth. Think of the ancient forests, where the roots of towering, centuries-old trees reach deep into the dark, cool soil. From the surface, each tree appears to be an isolated pillar of strength, standing alone against the wind and the rain. But beneath the soft, damp moss and the fallen leaves, there is a hidden network of extraordinary tenderness. Below the ground, delicate threads of fungi weave themselves around the tips of the tree roots, connecting the entire forest in a quiet, underground embrace. Through these microscopic fungal bridges, the trees speak to one another in a language of chemistry and care. The older, stronger trees, bathed in the rich sunlight of the canopy, send sweet, nourishing sugars down into their roots, sharing their abundance with the younger, shaded saplings that struggle to find the light. They do not hoard their strength, they distribute it. When a dry season approaches, trees that have access to deep underground springs will share their water with their thirsty neighbors. It is a silent, sprawling community of profound generosity, a testament to the fact that, in nature, true resilience comes from radical connection. As you lie there, feeling the steady, rhythmic beating of your own heart, let this thought sink into your mind like a smooth stone settling at the bottom of a clear, calm lake. The world outside is not a chaotic, lonely void. It is a deeply interconnected web of life, vibrating with mutual support and quiet cooperation. Just as the trees hold one another up in the dark soil, you, too, are held by the invisible forces of life and gravity, by the air you breathe, and by the shared human experience of seeking rest at the end of a long day. You do not have to figure everything out on your own. You do not have to carry the weight of the world on your individual shoulders. The natural world shows us, time and time again, that survival and indeed flourishing is a shared project. It is a delicate dance of giving and receiving, of finding our place within a larger, more beautiful whole. Let your breath match the slow, patient rhythm of an ancient forest settling into the night. Breathe in the cool, mossy air of the imagination. Breathe out the lingering doubts and the echoes of the day's demands. Allow yourself to be drawn into this story of quiet companionship, where predators become protectors, where the smallest organisms shape the grandest landscapes, and where no one is truly ever alone. The night is deepening. The stars are emerging one by one, like quiet promises in the dark. And our journey into the heart of nature's gentlest alliances has just begun. Let your mind drift on these words, floating lighter and lighter. As we prepare to step softly into the wild, let us leave the ancient, whispered secrets of the forest behind for a little while, and let your mind travel to another place of profound and enduring peace. Imagine that you are no longer resting on a stationary bed, but rather you are floating on the surface of a calm, tranquil ocean. The water is perfectly still tonight, mirroring the vast, ink-black sky above. There is no wind to stir the waves, only a gentle, rhythmic swelling of the sea, rising and falling like the slow, steady chest of a sleeping giant. Picture the moon, full and luminous, hanging low on the horizon. It casts a long, shimmering path of silver light across the dark water, a luminous bridge stretching out into the infinite horizon. The air here is cool and clean, carrying the faint, crisp scent of salt and the wide open spaces of the world. With every breath you take, feel yourself inhaling this expansive, clearing energy. And as you exhale, feel your physical body becoming lighter, losing its density, until you are as weightless as a solitary leaf resting on the surface of a quiet pond. Slowly, effortlessly, we are going to sink beneath the surface. You do not need to hold your breath here in this journey of the mind, in this safe, imaginary seascape. The water does not restrict you, it embraces you. As you glide downwards into the twilight zone of the ocean, the sounds of the world above become muffled, distant, and beautifully irrelevant. The chaos of the waking hours is washed away, replaced by the deep, resonant silence of the marine world. It is a silence so thick and so comforting that you can almost feel it wrapping around your shoulders like a heavy, velvet blanket. Down here, in the gentle, rocking currents of the shallow coastal waters, a remarkable story of friendship unfolds every single night. We are traveling to the warm, sandy sea floors near the Hawaiian Islands, a place where the water is clear and the moonbeams manage to pierce through the depths, painting the ocean floor in soft strokes of pale blue and silver. Here, resting quietly on the soft, white sand, is a creature no larger than a delicate pine cone. It is the Hawaiian bobtail squid. During the bright, demanding hours of the day, this tiny, fragile animal buries itself completely in the sand, folding its soft tentacles over its head, letting the world pass by in a state of deep, undisturbed rest. It knows that the day is not its time. It waits, with infinite patience, for the world to soften, for the shadows to lengthen, and for the sun to finally dip below the horizon. When the night finally arrives, the little squid emerges, but the ocean under the moonlight is a vast and open place, and a small creature could easily feel vulnerable swimming through the illuminated waters. Yet, the bobtail squid does not carry fear in its heart. It does not navigate the darkness alone. It carries with it a secret, a quiet alliance forged over millions of years of evolution. Inside the soft, the translucent body of the squid is a specialized little chamber, a biological lantern known as a light organ. But the squid itself does not create the light. Instead, it offers this safe, nutrient-rich chamber as a home, a sanctuary, to millions of tiny, glowing organisms called Vibrio fischeri bacteria. It is an invitation extended in the deep quiet of the sea. Come live with me. Be sheltered. Be fed. And in return, we will navigate this vast ocean together. The bacteria accept this silent treaty. They gather inside the light organ, completely protected from the unpredictable currents and the vast emptiness of the open water. And in their comfort, in their safety, they begin to glow. They produce a soft, ethereal blue-green light, a cool luminescence that rivals the beauty of the stars above. As the bobtail squid swims gracefully through the water, propelled by gentle, rhythmic pulses of its delicate mantle, the moonlight from above shines down upon it. Normally, this light would cast a dark, telltale shadow on the sea floor below, a shadow that could give away the squid's position. But this is where the magic of their partnership reveals itself. The squid possesses a wondrous ability. It acts as a living, breathing dimmer switch. It senses the exact intensity of the moonlight filtering down through the waves, and it carefully controls the amount of light escaping from its bacterial guests. It matches the glow of the bacteria perfectly to the brightness of the moon and the stars. It beams this soft, blue-green light downward, effectively erasing its own shadow. To anyone looking up from below, the squid simply vanishes. It becomes indistinguishable from the moonlight itself. It does not hide by building a fortress, nor does it survive by fighting. It survives by blending in, by harmonizing with the light of the universe, and by trusting in the microscopic companions that it carries within its own body. Think about the profound beauty of this arrangement as you sink deeper into your mattress. A tiny, vulnerable creature and millions of microscopic glowing beings, holding on to one another in the vastness of the sea. They are a living testament to the fact that you do not need to be the biggest, or the loudest, or the strongest to find safety in this world. Sometimes, safety is found in quiet cooperation. Sometimes, the best way to move safely through the dark is not to fight the shadows, but to carry your own soft light, and to share your journey with others. Let the image of that gentle, glowing blue light wash over your mind. Imagine it as a soothing balm, cooling any lingering anxieties, washing away the sharp edges of your thoughts. If your mind wanders to the tasks of tomorrow or the conversations of yesterday, simply acknowledge those thoughts without judgment, and gently guide your attention back to the slow, pulsing light of the little squid, swimming peacefully through the silver water. Pulse and glide, pulse and glide, breathing in the cool water, breathing out a trail of starlight. In the natural world, survival is so rarely the desperate, lonely struggle we are often led to believe it is. It is a shared project. It is a continuous, deeply intertwined dance of giving and receiving. The bobtail squid and its glowing companions do not worry about the future. They do not overthink their arrangement. They simply exist, perfectly adapted to this exact moment, holding each other in a balance of profound grace. As we leave the tiny squid to its peaceful, luminous journey, the gentle current carries us further along the ocean floor. We are drifting now toward a darker, more textured landscape. The soft sand begins to give way to the intricate, sweeping architecture of a coral reef. By day, This is a bustling metropolis of vibrant colors and frantic energy. But now, under the cloak of night, a profound hush has fallen over the reef. The corals have pulled their delicate, flower-like polyps inside their hard, protective shells, entering their own cycle of rest. The swift, darting fish of the afternoon have found quiet crevices in the rock, wedging themselves safely away to sleep. The ocean is exhaling. The world is slowing down. Yet, even in this deep, nocturnal stillness, there are quiet corners of the reef where a different kind of gentle cooperation is taking place. There are places where the normal rules of the ocean are suspended, where boundaries blur, and where trust overcomes instinct. As you let your breath deepen, becoming as slow and steady as the ocean tide, prepare to drift toward these quiet sanctuaries of healing and care. Let your muscles soften completely. Let your thoughts become as fluid and formless as the water around you, ready to be carried gently into the next chapter of our journey. As we glide effortlessly above the intricate architecture of the coral reef, the world takes on a softer, more dreamlike quality. The sharp angles of the coral branches are smoothed by the dim, silvery light filtering down from the surface. The ocean breathes in a slow, rhythmic sway, a gentle rocking motion that you can feel in your own body as you lie resting. With every rise of your chest, the water seems to gently lift you. With every exhale, you sink a little deeper into profound comfort. In the waking hours, this reef is a place of endless movement. But in the quiet hush of the night, a beautiful transformation occurs. The reef becomes a landscape of whispered truces and shared sanctuaries. There are designated spaces here, quiet corners nestled between the curves of ancient, boulder-like corals, where the usual rules of the vast ocean simply cease to exist. These are places of profound peace, known as cleaning stations. Imagine a large, majestic fish, perhaps a grand grouper, or a slow, graceful manta ray gliding through the water. All day, it has navigated the endless blue, carrying the weight of its own journey, gathering the tiny, invisible debris of a life lived in motion. It is tired. Its muscles ache for stillness. And so, it approaches this specific, quiet corner of the reef. Watch as this beautiful giant does something entirely counter to its nature. It slows its powerful tail, its pectoral fins, usually beating in a constant, restless rhythm, now spread wide and hold perfectly still. It tilts its body slightly upward, hovering in the water, and slowly, gently, it opens its mouth. It is a posture of absolute surrender. It is a yielding to the moment, a voluntary release of all defense and all control. From the crevices of the coral, the caretakers emerge. They are tiny slivers of vibrant blue and yellow, small, cleaner wrasses and delicate, translucent shrimp. In any other setting, under any other circumstance, they might scatter at the shadow of such a massive visitor. But not here. Here, there is an ancient, unspoken agreement of mutual trust. The tiny caretakers approach the giant. They perform a gentle, bobbing dance, a silent greeting that confirms their peaceful intentions. And then they begin their work. With incredible care and precision, they move over the large fish's scales, They delicately pick away the microscopic parasites, the tiny burdens, and the invisible debris that the giant could not reach on its own. They even venture inside the open mouth and beneath the delicate gills, places of immense vulnerability, moving with the soft, deliberate grace of devoted healers. The giant fish does not flinch. It hangs suspended in the cool water, entering a trance-like state of deep relaxation. Its breathing slows, the heavy gills rising and falling with a deep, mesmerizing regularity. You can almost feel the profound relief radiating from its body. It is the exquisite comfort of being tended to, of having someone else smooth away the rough edges of the day, of knowing that for this brief, suspended moment, you do not have to carry your burdens alone. Just as the large fish surrenders its invisible weights to the tiny caretakers, I invite you to surrender the lingering worries of your own day. Whatever tiny frustrations, whatever unseen tensions you have gathered, you do not need to hold on to them anymore. Imagine them being gently lifted away, one by one, dissolving into the cool, clear water. Feel the smooth, unburdened surface of your own mind. You are safe to let your guard down. You are in a sanctuary of rest. As the giant fish, now cleaned and unburdened, gives a slow, grateful sweep of its tail and glides back into the dark water to sleep, we too will drift onward. Let the gentle current carry us just a little further, past the edge of the coral reef, where the complex structures give way to a smooth, sweeping expanse of soft, white sand. Here, on the quiet outskirts of the reef, the ocean floor looks entirely still. But if we look very closely, with patient and gentle eyes, we will witness one of the most touching partnerships in all of nature. There, near a small mound of sand, is a tiny burrow, and working tirelessly at the entrance is a pale, almost translucent creature, a snapping shrimp, like a meticulous, tiny bulldozer. It is pushing a pile of sand and broken shells out of its home, ensuring the burrow remains deep, clear, and perfectly safe. The shrimp is a master builder, incredibly diligent and focused on creating a secure haven. But the little shrimp has a vulnerability. It was born without sight. It cannot see the shadows shifting in the water above. It cannot perceive the vastness of the ocean that surrounds its home. To be blind and alone in such a wide, open world might seem terrifying, but the little shrimp is not afraid. It works with a steady, peaceful rhythm. It is not afraid because it is never alone. Resting just a few inches away, positioned right at the entrance of the carefully dug burrow, is a watchman goby. This is a small, beautifully speckled fish with bright, perceptive eyes. The goby sits perfectly still, resting on its pectoral fins, gazing out into the blue water. It is the sentinel, the guardian of their shared home. But the magic of their partnership is not just in their shared living space. It is in their physical connection. As the blind shrimp moves back and forth, pushing the sand, it keeps one long, delicate, thread-like antenna resting gently against the side of the goby's tail. Think about the profound comfort of that single point of contact. In a world of endless water and shifting sands, that soft, delicate touch is an anchor. It is a continuous, physical whisper that says, I am here. I am watching over you. You are safe. Through that tiny antenna, the shrimp and the goby share a language without words. If the goby sees a shadow moving too quickly, or senses a shift in the current that feels unfamiliar, it does not panic. It simply gives a gentle, subtle flick of its tail. The shrimp feels the vibration through its antenna, and instantly, smoothly, they both slide backward into the warm, dark, absolute safety of their burrow. They wait there together, in the quiet dark, until the world outside is peaceful again. Imagine what it feels like to be that little shrimp, to be able to pour all your energy into building a comfortable, safe space, knowing with absolute certainty that someone else is keeping watch, to trust so completely in the gentle touch of a friend that you do not even need to open your eyes to feel secure. Let that feeling of profound safety wash over you now. You, too, are in a warm, dark, safe space. You do not need to keep watch anymore tonight. The doors are locked, the house is quiet, and the world has slowed to a halt. You can let your senses retreat inward. You can allow your mind to be perfectly, completely at ease, anchored by the comforting weight of your blankets and the steady rhythm of your own breathing. In and out, slow and steady, like the gentle push of the ocean tide, like the soft, reassuring touch of a companion in the deep. You are held, you are safe, and you are entirely free to rest. Let the image of the sandy seafloor fade softly into the background, leaving only the profound feeling of companionship and peace as we prepare to drift even further into the restorative embrace of the night. Let us gently leave the warm, dark safety of the sandy seafloor behind us. You do not need to swim. You only need to allow yourself to float, weightless and unburdened, rising slowly through the cool, clear water. Up and up you drift, leaving the sleeping fish and the quiet coral sanctuaries to their peaceful rest. The water around you grows a little lighter, transitioning from the deep, midnight blue of the ocean floor to a soft, translucent silver as you approach the surface. And then, with the gentlest of ripples, we break the surface of the water. You are no longer in the ocean. You are now resting on a quiet, secluded coastline, long after the sun has set. The air here is entirely different. It is cool, incredibly fresh, and thick with a soft, rolling fog. Take a slow, deep breath in and imagine the crisp scent of salt spray mingling with the earthy, grounding fragrance of a nearby pine forest. Let that cool, clean air fill your lungs, washing away any lingering fog in your own mind, replacing the clutter of the day with the pure, quiet clarity of the night. Breathe out slowly and let your shoulders drop even further. The world here is muffled by the mist. The fog acts as a soft, grey blanket draped over the landscape, blurring the sharp edges of the rocks and softening the silhouettes of the trees. It is as if the landscape itself has pulled the covers up to its chin, preparing for a long, undisturbed sleep. The only sound is the rhythmic, distant, hushed whispering of the waves folding onto the shore. A sound so steady and predictable that it becomes a lullaby for the earth. Here, on the edge of the water, resting quietly in the mist, is an ancient, smooth boulder. It has sat in this exact spot for thousands of years, smoothed by time and the elements. It is solid, unmoving, and deeply grounded. Imagine resting your hand against its cool, damp surface. Feel how sturdy it is. Feel the absolute permanence of it. You, too, can be this grounded. You can let the shifting anxieties of the world wash over you without being moved. Secure in your own quiet center. But if we look very closely at the surface of this ancient stone, we will see that it is not bare. It is covered in a delicate, breathtaking tapestry of pale greens, soft silvers, and muted, ashen grays. It looks like a dusting of frost, or a scattering of tiny, intricate lace doilies clinging to the rock. These are the lichens, and they are the quietest, most patient storytellers in all of the natural world. To the passing eye, a patch of lichen looks like a simpler plant. But tonight, in this space of slow and careful observation, we know the beautiful truth. A lichen is not one organism standing alone against the wind and the cold. It is a brilliant, entirely peaceful marriage between two completely different beings who have decided that the barren surface of a rock is too harsh a place to live in isolation. It is an embrace that lasts a lifetime. One half of this partnership is a master builder, a fungus, much like the ones that weave through the forest floor. But instead of tunneling through soft soil, this builder weaves a microscopic, protective structure right on the surface of the stone. It creates tiny walls, small chambers, and a spongy architecture that acts like a sponge, designed to catch and hold every precious drop of morning dew and every wisp of coastal fog. It provides a home. It provides absolute safety from the drying sun and the biting wind. But a builder cannot create its own food, and so it opens its doors to a companion, nestled safely inside the cozy, damp chambers built by the fungus. Live thousands of microscopic, vibrant green algae. They are the gatherers of light. They sit quietly by the microscopic windows of their fungal home, soaking up the gentle sunshine of the day and the soft moonlight of the night. They take that pure, radiant light and, through a quiet miracle of nature, they spin it into sweet, nourishing sugars. They are like tiny, gentle roommates, living securely in a fortress built just for them. And they cheerfully pay their rent in sugar, sharing their harvest with the builder who keeps them safe. Neither the builder nor the gatherer of light could survive on this bare, cold rock alone. The algae would dry up in the wind, the fungus would starve without the light. But together, holding on to one another in a microscopic embrace, they not only survive, they thrive. They turn a barren stone into a miniature garden of pale, spreading lace. There is a profound, soothing lesson in the life of the lichen, one that speaks directly to the tired, overworked parts of our own hearts. The lichen does not rush. It does not possess the frantic, desperate energy of the modern world. It is the ultimate symbol of patience. A patch of lichen the size of a coin may have taken 100 years to grow. It measures its progress not in days, or hours, or items crossed off a list, but in fractions of a millimeter, stretching out over centuries. When the weather is too dry, or the conditions are too harsh, the lichen does not struggle or fight. It simply pauses. It folds gently in on itself, crisping up slightly, and it goes to sleep. It waits. It knows with ancient certainty that the rain will eventually return, and when the first drops of moisture finally fall from the sky, the lichen simply softens, unfurls, and quietly resumes its life, exactly where it left off. Think about the immense relief of that kind of existence. Imagine granting yourself the permission to simply pause when things feel too harsh or too demanding. You do not always have to be growing. You do not always have to be producing, achieving, or moving forward. Sometimes, the most beautiful and natural thing you can do is simply hold your ground, draw your energy inward, and rest. You are allowed to be still. You are allowed to wait for the metaphorical rain to return. Your worth is not measured by your constant motion. Just as the beauty of the lichen is not measured by its speed, its beauty lies in its resilience, in its quiet partnership, and in its enduring, peaceful presence on the stone. Let the incredible, deep patience of the lichen sink into your muscles. Feel your arms and legs becoming as heavy and relaxed as the ancient rock beneath them. Feel your breathing slow down, matching the drawn-out, unhurried rhythm of geological time. 100 years is nothing to the stone. The urgencies of tomorrow are nothing in the quiet expanse of this night. As we leave the soft, silver tapestry of the lichen to its slow, quiet breathing, our journey takes us gently downward. We slip seamlessly from the surface of the damp rock down into the soft, fragrant earth gathered at its base. The soil here is cool, rich, and dark, a blanket woven from fallen pine needles and the memory of ancient leaves. Here, in the absolute dark, beneath the surface of the world where no eyes can see, the grandest and most silent collaboration of all is taking place. We are moving toward a secret that lies at the very foundation of the forest, a gentle revelation that will remind you just how deeply connected you truly are to the fabric of life itself. But for now, simply rest in the dark, cool earth of your imagination. Let the fog roll overhead. Let the ocean whisper in the distance. You are exactly where you need to be. And there is absolutely nothing you need to do but sleep. As we gently descend from the cool, mist-kissed surface of the ancient boulder, we do not fall. We simply drift, lighter than a falling pine needle, slowly settling into the rich, fragrant earth below. The transition is completely seamless, a soft passage from the cool, silver air into the deep, welcoming embrace of the ground. Imagine the scent of the forest floor after a light evening rain. It is a profound, grounding fragrance, a mixture of damp moss, crushed autumn leaves, and the sweet, dark richness of the soil itself. This is the scent of the earth resting, a perfume woven from the quiet cycles of nature. Breathe it in deeply. Let that earthy, comforting aroma fill your senses, anchoring you completely to this moment of stillness. With every breath out, allow your body to feel heavier, sinking deeper into the soft, supportive mattress beneath you, just as a fallen leaf settles peacefully into the moss. Down here, beneath the surface of the world, there is no wind to rattle the branches, no glaring sunlight to demand your attention, and no hurried footsteps to break the silence. There is only a cool, absolute darkness, wrapped in a blanket of perfect, unchanging quiet. It is the ultimate sanctuary, But as your eyes adjust to this imaginary darkness, you begin to realize that the soil is not an empty, lifeless void. It is not just dirt and stone. It is a vast, living tapestry, glowing with a soft, bioluminescent warmth in the theater of your mind. You are looking at the hidden architecture of the forest, the unseen foundation that holds everything together. Here, reaching down from the towering pines and the ancient oaks above, are millions of delicate, pale root tips. They navigate the dark earth like gentle, exploring fingers, moving with an agonizingly slow, deliberate grace. They are searching for water, for minerals, for the nourishment needed to support the massive, swaying canopies high above. But these roots do not travel through the dark alone. Woven throughout the soil, finer than the most delicate silk thread, is a sprawling, endless web of mycelium. This is the subterranean body of the fungus, a soft, white net that stretches for miles in every direction, connecting every grain of soil, every buried stone, and every single tree. When a seeking tree root meets a delicate fungal thread in the dark, they do not compete for the space. They do not fight for the water. Instead, they perform one of the most beautiful and quiet acts of communion in the natural world. The soft fungal threads gently wrap themselves around the tips of the roots, creating a microscopic, velvety glove. It is a handshake that has lasted for millions of years. Through this gentle embrace, a profound exchange begins. The tree, bathing in the sunlight far above, has spent the day making sweet, golden sugars in its leaves. Now, in the quiet of the night, it sends that sweetness down through its trunk, down through its roots, and offers it freely to the fungal threads. In return, the mycelium, which has explored deep, hidden crevices where the tree's roots could never reach, draws up cool, clear water and precious minerals, offering them back to the tree. It is an economy of pure, unselfish generosity. There is no hoarding in the deep earth. There is no concept of solitary survival. But the miracle of this underground network goes even deeper, because the mycelial threads connect not just to one tree, but to all of them. The entire forest becomes a single, breathing community. If a young sapling is growing in the deep shade of a larger tree, unable to catch enough sunlight to make its own food, it does not wither away in isolation. The older, stronger trees sense its struggle through the fungal network. They gently pump their own surplus sugar and water down into the roots, across the fungal bridges, and into the fragile roots of the little sapling. They hold the young one up. They nourish the weak. When a tree is ailing, its neighbors will send it the nutrients it needs to heal. The forest is a family, constantly whispering messages of support and sharing the very essence of life through the dark. Quiet earth, as you lie there, safe and warm, let the profound comfort of this hidden world wash over you. Think of the times you have felt like a solitary tree, trying to weather a storm all on your own, trying to draw water from dry earth, believing that you must be entirely self-sufficient to survive. The quiet wisdom of the forest floor tells a different story. You are part of a vast, invisible network of human connection. The kindness of a stranger, the comforting voice of a friend, the shared understanding of a community. These are the mycelial threads of our own lives. You do not have to carry the weight of your canopy alone. It is natural to need support, and it is natural to give it. Imagine those soft, glowing threads of connection wrapping gently around your own tired shoulders. Feel the burdens of independence and isolation melting away into the cool soil. You are supported. You are sustained. You are allowed to draw strength from the quiet love that surrounds you. Even when you cannot see it, relax your jaw, soften your brow, and let the gentle, slow beating heart of the forest become the rhythm of your own restful sleep. Asterisk, asterisk, a story of ancient hospitality. Asterisk, asterisk. Let us allow the vision of the forest roots to slowly fade, dissolving into a soft, ambient glow. We are going to journey even deeper now. We are going to shrink down, smaller than a grain of sand, smaller than the finest fungal thread, crossing the threshold into a realm so tiny and profound that it feels like magic. We are traveling back through deep time, to a beautifully simple truth hidden within the very building blocks of life itself. If tonight's story reminded you of a beautiful memory, or if this quiet space is bringing you peace, feel free to share it below in the comments whenever you awaken. Here, no one rests alone. Every gentle thought is a soft lantern in the dark. Long, long ago, in the ancient, primordial oceans of our world, life was very simple. There were no forests, no reefs, no animals. There were only tiny, single-celled beings, drifting endlessly in the vast, warm waters. They lived solitary lives, floating on the currents, each a tiny, self-contained universe. One day, in the quiet depths of this ancient sea, a larger, soft-edged cell was drifting along. It was a gentle drifter, but it was slow, and it sometimes struggled to find enough energy in the vastness of the water. Nearby, there was another, much smaller microbe. This little wanderer was different. It carried within it a special spark, a unique ability to capture energy and breathe in a way the larger cell could not. But the little wanderer was fragile, exposed to the elements and the unpredictable currents of the open ocean. Eventually, the currents brought these two solitary drifters together. They brushed against one another in the dark water. What happened next is one of the most extraordinary and peaceful events in the history of the world. The larger cell did not push the smaller one away. It did not try to consume or destroy it. Instead, recognizing something precious in the little wanderer, the larger cell did something beautiful. It slowly, gently, folded its soft outer membrane around the smaller microbe. It created a warm, safe pocket, and it invited the wanderer inside. Asterisk, come in from the vast, lonely ocean. Asterisk, the gesture seemed to say. Asterisk, be warm here. Be safe here. We do not have to drift alone anymore. The little microbe accepted the invitation. It settled into the quiet, protected center of the larger cell. It found a permanent home, and in return for this absolute sanctuary, the little guest began to share its spark. It became the energy, the quiet engine, the warm hearth fire of its new home, providing the larger cell with the strength it needed to thrive, to grow, and to eventually build the complex, beautiful world we know today. This ancient act of hospitality was not a fleeting moment. It was a promise that has been kept for billions of years. Because that little wandering microbe never left, it stayed, it evolved, and today we call it the mitochondria. It is the tiny, energy-producing heart that lives inside almost every single cell of every plant, every animal, and every human being. Think about what this truly means. As you lie quietly in the stillness of your room, you are not just a single, isolated individual. You, yourself, are a magnificent, walking community. Inside every single cell of your body, there is a tiny, ancient guest, quietly tending the fire, keeping you warm, keeping you alive, all because billions of years ago, one form of life opened its doors to another. The boundary of your skin does not separate you from the natural world. It contains a miniature ecosystem within it. You are a sanctuary. You are built, at the very deepest, most fundamental level, on a foundation of welcome, cooperation, and profound, enduring togetherness. Let this beautiful realization settle into your mind like soft snow falling on a quiet meadow. The anxiety of loneliness is a trick of the mind. How can you ever truly be alone when you are composed of trillions of tiny, ancient alliances? Your very heartbeat is a chorus. Your every breath is a shared endeavor. As the night deepens and the shadows grow long and soft, allow your body to completely surrender to the mattress. Feel the gentle, rhythmic hum of your own inner life. A steady, peaceful vibration that echoes the quiet hum of the forest floor and the rhythmic sway of the deep ocean. You are a universe of quiet connections, resting peacefully within a larger universe of care. Let your thoughts drift, weightless and slow. As we prepare to follow the gentle tide of sleep even deeper into the night, let us slowly leave the deep, microscopic memories of the ancient ocean behind. You do not need to hold on to them tightly. Simply let them dissolve into the gentle ether of your mind. Like morning mist burning off a quiet lake, we are going to drift upward now, carried by a warm, unseen current of air. We are traveling thousands of miles away, moving effortlessly across the globe, until we arrive at a place where the air itself feels like a soft, living blanket. Welcome to the high, hidden canopy of the tropical rainforest, just as the sun begins to set. The air here is entirely different from the crisp, salty chill of the ocean coast. It is rich, heavy, and wonderfully warm. It wraps around you like a comforting embrace, easing the tension in your joints and softening the muscles of your back. Breathe in deeply. The scent here is a symphony of life, the sweet, heavy perfume of night-blooming orchids, the earthy richness of damp moss, and the fresh, clean aroma of rain that has just finished falling. It is the scent of a world that is abundantly, effortlessly alive. As the twilight deepens, the vibrant emerald and jade hues of the leaves soften into muted, restful shades of charcoal and deep olive. The forest is preparing for the night. The energetic chatter of the daytime birds has faded away, replaced by the rhythmic, hypnotic chirping of crickets and the occasional, gentle rustle of leaves as the wind sighs through the branches. High up in this shadowy, emerald world, safely cradled in the sturdy, curving crook of an ancient, moss-draped branch, rests a creature who is the absolute master of peace. It is the pale-throated, three-toed sloth. In a world that constantly demands speed, in a modern culture that tells us we must always be moving, producing, and hurrying to the next destination, the sloth is a quiet, radical act of rebellion. The sloth survives, and indeed thrives, not by outrunning the world, but by slowing down to a rhythm so profound, so unhurried, that it almost seems to become one with the tree itself. Watch the sloth in your mind's eye. It does not scurry. It does not rush. If it decides to shift its position to find a more comfortable resting spot for the night, it does so with a deliberate, mindful grace that is mesmerizing to behold. It slowly, so slowly, extends a long, slender arm, its three curved claws reaching out like gentle hooks. It finds a secure hold on the branch, tests it carefully, and only then does it smoothly, weightlessly pull its body forward. Every single movement is considered. Every gesture is an exercise in absolute calm. Imagine adopting that kind of slowness for just one evening. Imagine giving yourself the permission to move through your nighttime routine without a single hurried step. You do not need to rush towards sleep. You can simply let it arrive at its own soft, unhurried pace. But the true beauty of the sloth is not just in its quiet movements. It is in the exquisite, hidden world that it carries upon its own back. Because the sloth moves so slowly, and because it spends its life high in the humid, sun-dappled canopy, its long, coarse fur becomes something entirely unique in the animal kingdom. It becomes a garden, nestled within the microscopic grooves of each individual hair. A special, delicate type of green algae begins to grow. It is a soft, pale green, the color of new leaves in the spring. As the rainy season washes over the forest, this algae flourishes, giving the sloth a beautiful, subtle green tint. This is not an accident. It is a perfectly balanced partnership. The sloth offers the algae a safe, elevated home, lifting it high off the dark forest floor and carrying it gently toward the sunlight filtering through the leaves. In return, the algae gives the sloth a remarkable gift, an invisibility cloak, blending in perfectly with the moss and the leaves. The green-tinted sloth simply disappears into the canopy. It does not need to hide from the world, because it has seamlessly become a part of it. And the sanctuary of the sloth's fur does not end there. Living quietly within this moving garden is another tiny companion. It is a small, gentle insect known as the sloth moth. These moths ask for very little. They do not bite. They do not sting. And they do not harm their host in any way. They simply rest deep within the warm, coarse fur, finding absolute shelter from the wind and the rain. When the sloth slowly descends to the forest floor once a week, a journey it takes with immense care, the moths briefly flutter down to lay their eggs in the rich soil before returning to the safety of the fur. As they move, these tiny moths carry essential nutrients back up into the canopy, acting as microscopic gardeners that fertilize the green algae growing on the sloth's back. It is a beautiful, enclosed circle of care. The sloth protects the moths. The moths nourish the algae. The algae camouflages the sloth. Three entirely different forms of life. bound together in a slow, quiet dance of mutual survival. Think about the profound gentleness of this arrangement. The sloth is not a solitary creature moving through a lonely forest. It is a walking sanctuary. It is a safe harbor for the smallest and quietest of beings. By simply resting, by simply being still and moving softly through the world, the sloth provides a home for an entire miniature ecosystem. You, too, have this capacity for quiet grace. You do not always have to be taking action to be of value to the world. Sometimes, the most generous thing you can do is to be a sanctuary of calm. When you soften your own edges, when you slow your own racing thoughts, you create a space of peace that radiates outward. You become a safe harbor, not just for the people around you, but for your own tired mind. Let the image of the sleeping sloth sink deeply into your consciousness. It is completely safe, wrapped in its own arms, anchored securely to the ancient tree. Its breathing is incredibly slow, the chest rising and falling in a long, drawn-out rhythm that seems to stretch time itself. Let us match that rhythm now. As you lie there, draw in a breath that is just a fraction slower than your last one. Let the air fill the very bottom of your lungs. Hold it there, in the quiet space at the top of the breath, for just a heartbeat. And then, release it. Let it go with a long, soft sigh, emptying yourself of all the leftover hurriedness of the day. In and out, slow and steady. There is nowhere you need to be. There is nothing you need to achieve. The world will keep turning. The forest will keep growing. And you are allowed to simply rest in the warm, dark embrace of the night, as the sloth pulls its head gently toward its chest and closes its eyes against the humid twilight. Allow your own body to sink an inch deeper into the absolute comfort of your bed, ready to be carried softly into the next chapter of our journey. Let the image of the sleeping sloth gently fade from your mind's eye, dissolving into the soft, humid mist of the rainforest canopy. You are leaving that lush, emerald world behind now, but you are taking its profound, unhurried peace with you. Imagine that you are being lifted, ever so gently, by a cool, rising trade wind. You are weightless, drifting high above the trees, carried on a silent, invisible current of air that is sweeping across continents, guiding you toward a landscape of breathtaking, sweeping contrasts. Slowly, the humid air gives way to something entirely new. You are descending into the vast, the open expanse of the high desert, just as the deepest part of the night takes hold. If you have never stood in the desert at midnight, allow your imagination to paint the scene for you during the day. This landscape is a place of brilliant, unforgiving light and intense, shimmering heat. But when the sun finally sinks below the jagged horizon of distant mountains, a magnificent transformation occurs. The desert exhales. The sand, which had absorbed the fiery energy of the sun all day long, suddenly releases it back into the atmosphere, leaving behind a crisp, perfectly chilled, and profoundly clean night air. Take a deep breath of this desert night. It smells of dry, crushed sage, of ancient dust, and of the sweet, resinous perfume of the creosote bush waiting patiently for rain. It is a scent that completely clears the mind, sweeping away the heavy, complicated thoughts of the day and replacing them with a feeling of wide open space. As you exhale, imagine the cool air sweeping through your own body, drawing out any lingering heat of frustration, any residual warmth of anxiety, and leaving you feeling wonderfully cool, settled, and still. Look up into the sky of your imagination. Without the moisture of the rainforest or the lights of a city to obscure the view, the desert sky is a revelation. It is not just black, it is a deep, velvety indigo, so clear and so vast that it feels as though you could fall upward into it. And scattered across this endless canopy are millions of stars. They do not merely twinkle, they blaze with a fierce, quiet brilliance. The Milky Way stretches across the horizon like a glowing, powdery river of crushed diamonds. When you look at a sky like this, time itself begins to feel different. The light from those stars has traveled for millions of years across the silent vacuum of space just to reach your eyes in this exact moment. In the face of such ancient, enduring majesty, the urgent deadlines of tomorrow, the small mistakes of yesterday, and the endless ticking of the clock suddenly seem incredibly small. They lose their weight. They lose their power over you. You are just a tiny, peaceful observer resting under the grand, protective dome of the universe. Here, on the cool, silver-lit floor of the desert, where the shadows of the giant saguaro cacti stretch long and thin across the sand, we find another master of patience, moving with the slow, deliberate grace of a drifting boulder. An ancient desert tortoise is making its way across the terrain. This magnificent creature is a living testament to resilience and calm. Its shell, a beautifully weathered dome of dusty brown and grey scutes, has protected it for perhaps 60, 70, or even 80 years. It has seen decades of blistering summers and freezing winters. It knows the harshness of the world, and yet it does not rush. In the desert, energy is a precious commodity, and the tortoise knows better than to waste it on worry or haste. It walks with a slow, rhythmic sway, lifting one heavy, elephant-like foot, pausing, and then placing it softly onto the sand. Step, pause, step. It is the steady, unshakable heartbeat of the desert itself. Follow the tortoise with your mind's eye as it navigates through a patch of dry scrub. It is heading toward a subtle dip in the landscape, a dry wash where the earth is a little more packed, a little more stable. Here, dug deeply into the side of the bank, is a wide, half-moon-shaped opening. This is the tortoise's burrow. It is not just a shallow resting place, it is a masterful architectural achievement. Dug sometimes up to 10 feet deep into the firm soil, the tortoise spent years excavating this tunnel, creating a space where the temperature remains miraculously constant. When the desert floor above freezes in the winter, the deep burrow remains wrapped in a comforting, earthy warmth. When the summer sun scorches the sand, the burrow offers a cool, dark refuge. The tortoise slowly steps into the entrance, its shell scraping softly against the earthen roof. A sound as comforting as a key turning in the lock of a beloved childhood home. It moves deep into the dark, settling its heavy body onto the soft, dusty floor. It lets out a long, slow sigh, a sound of absolute contentment. and closes its dark, ancient eyes. But as your own eyes adjust to the soft, velvet blackness of the burrow, you begin to notice something extraordinary. The tortoise is not alone in this sanctuary. Tucked quietly into a small alcove near the entrance of the tunnel, resting on a bed of soft dust, is a tiny burrowing owl. Its yellow eyes are closed, its spotted feathers puffed out to capture the warmth of the earth. Further back, near the curve of the tunnel, a family of Gambel's quail plump, soft and beautifully patterned, are huddled closely together, a quiet mass of sleeping feathers, and clinging effortlessly to the earthen ceiling just above the tortoise's shell is a delicate, translucent banded gecko, its tiny toes gripping the dirt in perfect stillness. In the open desert, under the harsh light of the sun, these creatures might be wary of one another. They might scatter at the sound of a footstep, forever trapped in the exhausting cycle of vigilance and survival. But here, in the quiet dark of the burrow, a profound and beautiful truce has been called. The tortoise, the grand architect of this subterranean haven, does not mind its guests. It offers them its home without condition, and the guests, in turn, respect the quiet sanctuary of their host. They share the space. They share the warmth. They share the absolute safety of the deep earth. When a harsh desert storm blows across the plains above, howling and sending sand stinging through the air, this eclectic community simply rests deeper in the dark, breathing in unison, anchored by the sturdy, unbothered presence of the ancient tortoise. Think about the quiet majesty of this arrangement. The tortoise is what ecologists call a keystone species. By simply digging a home for itself, by simply following its own need for shelter, it inadvertently creates a foundation of survival for an entire community. It builds a sanctuary that saves the lives of others. There is a profound, comforting truth hidden in the dust of this desert burrow. We, too, have the power to be a sanctuary. When you cultivate peace within yourself, when you choose to slow down, to breathe deeply, and to approach your own life with the patient, unhurried grace of the tortoise, you become a safe harbor. Your calm energy radiates outward. You create a quiet, emotional burrow where the people you love, and indeed, where your own wandering, anxious thoughts can come to find rest when the storms of life are raging. You do not always have to fight the harsh elements of the world. Sometimes, the most heroic thing you can do is simply build a quiet, safe space and invite the weary parts of yourself to step inside. Imagine yourself doing that right now. Visualize this very bed, this very room, as your own deep, earthen burrow. The walls around you are thick and protective, keeping out the noise, the demands, and the cold winds of expectation. You are entirely insulated from the outside world. Here, in this space, all of your different parts, the part of you that is tired, the part of you that is worried, the part of you that just wants to be held, can gather together in absolute peace. There is no conflict here. There is only a quiet, shared truce. Let your breathing synchronize with the slow, ancient pulse of the desert tortoise, resting in the dark. The tortoise breathes so slowly that you can barely perceive the rise and fall of its shell. It takes in a breath, letting the cool, earthy air fill its lungs. And then it holds it, savoring the stillness. Then, with infinite patience, it lets the air slip away. Breathe in the quiet, hold the stillness, breathe out the day. Feel your arms and legs growing heavier, sinking into the mattress just as the tortoise sinks into the soft desert dust. Let your muscles surrender their tension, melting into the profound gravity of rest. The tiny owl is asleep. The quail are dreaming. The desert above is a sweeping ocean of silver starlight and silence. And you are tucked safely away beneath it all, completely protected, entirely unseen, and perfectly at peace. Let the darkness of the burrow fold over your mind like a heavy, velvet blanket, softening every thought until there is nothing left but the slow, steady rhythm of your own heart, beating in time with the quiet earth. Let us allow the vision of the warm, earthen desert burrow to slowly drift away, fading into the quiet corners of your mind. You are leaving the dry, fragrant sands behind, but the profound sense of safety you found there will stay with you, tucked quietly in your chest. Now, imagine that you are once again weightless, lifted softly by the invisible hands of the night sky. We are embarking on another journey, soaring effortlessly across the curvature of the earth, leaving the deserts and the forests far behind. We are traveling to the very bottom of the world. As you float southward in your imagination, you can feel the temperature of the air begin to shift. The dry warmth of the desert is slowly replaced by a breath of air that is exquisitely crisp, pure, and flawlessly clean. It is the kind of cool air that makes you appreciate the heavy, comforting warmth of the blankets currently draped over your own body. Take a deep, slow breath of this pristine atmosphere. It feels like drinking from a glass of cool, clear mountain water. It sweeps through your mind, completely erasing any lingering fog, any sticky, complicated thoughts of the day, leaving behind a sparkling, crystal clear emptiness. As you exhale, draw your blankets a little closer around your shoulders. Feel the contrast between the cool, refreshing air of the imaginary landscape and the snug, radiating warmth of your own safe bed. You are perfectly insulated. You are perfectly secure. We are descending now, drifting down like a single, weightless snowflake, until we softly touch upon a landscape of unimaginable, sweeping beauty. Welcome to the vast, untouched expanse of the Antarctic ice shelf during the deep polar night. Do not be afraid of the dark here, for the sky is not empty. Above you stretches a canvas of absolute wonder. The stars do not merely shine, they fiercely blaze through the thin, unpolluted atmosphere. Millions of diamond pinpricks scattered across a tapestry of deepest velvet, and dancing slowly across this magnificent sky is the aurora australis, the southern lights, great, shimmering curtains of emerald green, soft violet, and pale, ghostly pink ripple and fold against the darkness. They move with the slow, silent grace of silk blowing in a gentle breeze, painting the smooth, white ice below in ever-changing, luminous pastel wares. The silence here is immense. It is not the empty silence of a vacant room, but a deep, resonant, heavy silence, the sound of an entire continent resting under a blanket of ice. And yet, In the heart of this vast, frozen stillness, there is a profound and beautiful warmth. Standing together on the smooth ice, bathed in the ethereal glow of the aurora, is a gathering of majestic creatures. They are the emperor penguins. Standing nearly 4 feet tall, they are dressed in sleek, overlapping feathers that are so dense, so perfectly designed, that the freezing air cannot even touch their skin. They wear a glowing patch of sunrise gold at their throats, a permanent reminder of the sun that is currently resting just beneath the horizon. During the harsh, demanding months of the polar winter, a single penguin standing alone would quickly lose its warmth to the vastness of the ice. The world here is too expansive, too indifferent to solitary survival. But the emperor penguins hold a quiet, ancient wisdom. They know that they do not have to fight the winter alone. They know that the only way to endure the long night is to become something greater than themselves. Watch them now, under the shifting green light of the aurora, as a gentle, sweeping breeze begins to brush across the ice. The penguins do not scatter. They do not turn away from one another to seek their own individual shelter. Instead, they walk slowly, deliberately, toward the center of the group. They form a huddle. But this is not a chaotic, desperate crowding. It is an act of exquisite, silent cooperation. It is a slow, rhythmic dance of survival and empathy. Thousands of birds press their soft, densely feathered bodies against one another, shoulder to shoulder, chest to back. They tuck their beaks down into the warm, golden feathers of their own chests, and they close their eyes. Together, they create a single, massive, breathing superorganism. Inside the heart of this huddle, the temperature is incredibly warm, a tropical oasis blooming in the middle of the frozen world. It is a testament to the sheer, undeniable power of shared body heat, of shared presence, of simply standing close to those who are weathering the same storm. But the true beauty of the emperor penguin huddle lies in its constant, mesmerizing motion. The birds on the very outer edge of the circle are the ones facing the cool breeze. They act as the shield for the entire community. But they are not expected to bear the brunt of the winter forever. Because the huddle is alive, it moves in a slow, continuous, barely perceptible wave. The penguins take tiny, synchronized steps. The entire massive circle slowly rotates and shifts. The penguins on the outside slowly, gently shuffle their way along the edge. And eventually, the wave carries them deep into the warm, sheltered center of the group. And the penguins, who have been resting in the warm center, gradually step outward, taking their turn on the edge, willingly offering their stored warmth to protect the rest of the flock. It is an unending cycle of absolute fairness and profound care. There is no hierarchy here. There is no pushing, no shoving, no rushing to be the first or the warmest. Every single penguin knows that its turn in the center will come. And every single penguin knows that it must also take its turn, shielding the others. And they share the cold, so that they may all share the warmth. As you lie wrapped in the comfort of your own bed, let the deep, resonant wisdom of the penguin huddle sink into your mind. We are so often conditioned to believe that we must be entirely self-reliant. The hustle culture of our modern world tells us to stand tall on our own. to face the freezing winds of expectation and responsibility without ever leaning on anyone else. We are taught to be lone wolves, battling the elements in isolation. But the natural world, in its infinite, quiet grace, shows us a different path. It shows us that true strength is not about enduring hardship alone. True strength is found in the soft, yielding grace of community. It is found in the willingness to say, asterisk, I am cold. Let me step into the center for a while, asterisk. And it is found in the quiet generosity of saying, asterisk, I am warm now. I will stand on the edge and shield you. Asterisk, you do not have to hold all of your worries on your own shoulders tonight. You are allowed to seek the center. You are allowed to let the warmth of your loved ones, the comfort of your community, or simply the peaceful energy of this shared story wrap around you and protect you from the cold drafts of your own anxiety. If tonight's story is bringing you a sense of calm, allow that feeling to be a soft lantern in the dark. If you are finding rest here, know that you are part of a quiet, unseen community of listeners all over the world who are also slowing down, also seeking the center, and also breathing in unison with the night. When you wake up, if you feel called to do so, leave a gentle comment below. Share where you are listening from, or simply leave a word of peace for the next tired soul who wanders into this quiet corner of the internet. Here, no one rests alone. We are all sharing the warmth of the huddle. Let us align our own breathing with the slow, rhythmic shuffling of the penguins. Imagine that with every breath in, you are drawing the cool, pure, cleansing air of the aurora into your lungs. It sweeps away the clutter. It cools the mind. And with every long, slow breath out, imagine that you are sinking deeper into the warm, incredibly safe center of the huddle. You are completely surrounded by soft, yielding comfort. You are protected from all sides. There is absolutely nothing you need to defend against, and nothing you need to accomplish. Breathe in the quiet light of the stars. Breathe out the tension in your jaw. Breathe in the vast, still peace of the ice. Breathe out the weight of your shoulders, letting them melt completely into the mattress beneath you. The penguins have closed their eyes. They are swaying, ever so gently, to the slow, ancient music of the shifting ice and the whisper of the wind. It is a lullaby that has been sung for millions of years. Let that gentle, swaying motion rock your own mind to sleep. Drift on the wave of the huddle. Pulse with the slow, steady heartbeat of the gathered flock. The winter is long, but the night is deeply, beautifully warm. And as the aurora continues its silent, colorful dance across the roof of the world, let yourself slide seamlessly into the deepest, most restorative rest you have known in a very long time. Let the shimmering, ghostly curtains of the aurora borealis slowly dissolve from your mind's eye. Watch as the brilliant greens and soft violets fade gently into the comforting, velvety blackness of a deeply restful night. You are leaving the frozen continent behind, but you are carrying the profound, shared warmth of the emperor penguins with you, tucked safely inside your chest. Imagine that warmth as a small, glowing ember, a quiet reminder that you are never truly facing the winter of your worries alone. Now, allow yourself to feel weightless once more. You are being lifted by a warm, gentle updraft, Rising effortlessly into the starry night, we are drifting away from the ice, soaring silently over the dark, curving silhouette of the earth. We are traveling to a place of immense, unfathomable space, a place where the boundaries of the world seem to fall away entirely, leaving nothing but pure, liquid peace. Welcome to the heart of the open Pacific Ocean, at the quietest hour of the midnight watch. From high above, the ocean does not look like water. It looks like a vast, smooth mirror of polished obsidian, reflecting the endless canopy of stars above. There are no waves here to break the silence. Only a long, slow, rhythmic swell that rolls across the surface like the steady breathing of a sleeping giant. The air is wonderfully warm and heavy with the scent of salt and distance. It is an atmosphere that invites you to completely let go, to surrender your need for control, and to simply allow yourself to be carried. As we drift closer to the surface, hovering just above the glassy water, the sheer scale of this environment begins to wash over you. The open ocean is the most expansive habitat on our planet. It is a world without walls, without rigid borders, and without the frantic, cluttered architecture of the land. It is a space designed for slow, majestic movement. And beneath the surface of this starlit mirror, moving with the effortless grace of a floating mountain, is the grandest wanderer of them all. It is the blue whale. Imagine a creature so immense, so incredibly vast, that its very presence commands a profound and absolute reverence. Yet, despite its staggering size, there is not a single trace of aggression in its being. The blue whale is the embodiment of gentle power. It glides through the dark water with agonizing slowness, its massive tail flukes rising and falling in a hypnotic, unhurried rhythm that matches the deep, rolling swell of the sea above. To be in the presence of such a creature, even in the theater of your imagination, is to instantly feel your own anxieties shrink into insignificance. The whale carries the weight of the ocean with effortless grace. It does not struggle against the currents, it harmonizes with them. Deep within the chest of this magnificent animal beats the largest heart on earth. It is a heart the size of a small room, but it does not race. It does not flutter with the nervous, frantic energy that so often plagues our own human chests. When the blue whale is resting, descending into the quiet depths, its massive heart beats only a handful of times every minute. Imagine the sound of that heartbeat, a deep, resonant, impossibly slow thud that vibrates through the water. Asterisk thump. A long, luxurious stretch of silence. Asterisk thump. Asterisk. Let your own breathing synchronize with that monumental rhythm. As you lie in your bed, feel your chest rise slowly, expanding like the endless horizon of the sea. And as you exhale, let your breath out in a long, drawn-out sigh, releasing all the tension in your body. Just as the whale releases a soft, misty spout into the cool night air, you do not need to rush to the next breath. You can rest in the quiet spaces in between. For a long time, humanity believed that these gentle giants were solitary wanderers, drifting alone through an unimaginably vast and silent abyss. We looked at the sheer size of the ocean and assumed it was a place of profound isolation. And in that quiet moment under the endless sky, something felt different. Scientists listening to the deep ocean began to realize that the water was not silent at all. It was alive with a secret, invisible symphony. The blue whale is never truly alone, because it has mastered the art of reaching across the void. When a blue whale wishes to speak, it does not make a sound that you or I could easily hear. Instead, it produces a frequency so incredibly low, so deep and resonant, that it is felt more than it is heard. It is a slow, powerful vibration that hums through the very molecules of the water. Beneath the surface of the ocean, there exists a hidden layer of water known as the deep sound channel. It is a magical corridor where temperature and pressure align perfectly, creating an acoustic highway that spans the entire globe. When the blue whale releases its low, rumbling song into this channel, the sound does not fade away. It travels. It rolls through the dark water, undiminished, crossing underwater mountain ranges and vast abyssal plains. It travels for hundreds, and sometimes thousands, of miles. Imagine a whale swimming in the cool waters off the coast of Alaska, singing a slow, vibrating song into the deep, and half a world away, resting in the warm, starlit waters of Hawaii. Another whale feels that vibration. The second whale pauses. It listens to the low, comforting hum of its companion, separated by entire continents of water, yet deeply and intimately connected. And then, with a slow, powerful intake of water, the second whale sings back. They are holding a conversation across the dark. They are wrapping the entire planet in a web of acoustic connection, an invisible tapestry of shared presence. They do not need to see one another to know they are completely supported. They do not need to share the same physical space to feel the profound comfort of belonging. There is a deeply beautiful, healing philosophy woven into the song of the whale. It is a reminder that connection is not always something we can see with our eyes or touch with our hands. Sometimes, the most powerful tethers we have in this world are the invisible ones. Think of the people you love who are far away. Think of the beautiful memories you carry of those who are no longer sitting beside you, the love you have for them, and the love they have for you is like the low, resonant song of the blue whale. It travels across the vast distances of time and geography. It does not fade. It simply shifts into a frequency that is felt in the quietest, deepest chambers of your heart. You are never as isolated as your tired mind might lead you to believe. Your presence in this world matters. Your existence ripples outward, touching the shores of other people's lives in ways you may never fully comprehend. Even when you are resting alone in the dark, your heart is beating in rhythm with a vast, interconnected web of humanity. You are held in the soundscape of shared experience. Let this realization soften the edges of your thoughts. If you have been carrying a feeling of loneliness today, let it wash away in the vast, warm waters of the Pacific. You are tethered to the world by invisible threads of care, memory, and love. You are resting in the deep sound channel of the human experience, and you are surrounded by the quiet, comforting songs of those who care for you. The blue whale has taken its final, deep breath of the starlit air. With a movement so smooth, it is almost imperceptible. It arches its magnificent back. The giant tail flukes lift gracefully into the night sky, water cascading off the smooth skin like liquid silver in the moonlight. And then, with absolute serenity. The whale begins its slow, effortless descent into the deep. We are going to follow it down. We are leaving the surface behind, leaving the reflections of the stars, and sliding smoothly into the profound, comforting darkness of the ocean's midnight zone. The water here is cool, heavy, and infinitely peaceful. It wraps around you like a weighted blanket, pressing gently against your tired muscles, telling your body that it is safe to completely let go. As you sink deeper into your mattress, imagine that you are descending into that quiet, acoustic sanctuary. The noise of the surface world, the urgent emails, the endless to-do lists, the loud, demanding voices of the day are fading away into a muffled, distant memory. They cannot reach you here. All that remains is the slow, steady vibration of peace. All that remains is the deep, comforting hum of the ocean, wrapping you in an embrace that has lasted for millions of years. Let your jaw slacken completely. Let your hands fall open, releasing their grip on whatever they were holding. You are floating in the vast, supportive dark, anchored only by the slow, resonant heartbeat of the gentle giant, and the deep, unshakable knowledge that you are safe, you are connected, and you are entirely free to sleep. As the great blue whale continues its slow, majestic descent into the fathomless depths of the Pacific, we do not need to follow it all the way down into the absolute dark. We can simply let the profound, resonant vibration of its song linger in our minds. A fading, comforting echo that gently untethers us from the ocean entirely. Allow the image of the vast, starlit water to soften and blur, like a beautiful watercolor painting left out in a quiet, misty rain. You are drifting away from the deep ocean, but you are bringing its immense, unbroken tranquility back with you. You are floating softly, weightlessly, through the boundaries of space and time, until you find yourself settling completely and entirely back into the familiar, quiet space of your own room. Feel the solid, reassuring presence of the bed beneath you. Notice the familiar texture of your pillow, cool and soft against your cheek. Feel the comforting weight of the blankets draped over your shoulders and legs, anchoring you to this safe, private harbor. The journey across the globe is over, but the destination you have arrived at is the most important one of all, a state of absolute, unconditional rest. Tonight, we have traveled far across the quietest corners of the earth. We have wandered through ancient, moss-draped forests, where trees whisper to one another through subterranean fungal bridges, sharing their sugar and their strength in the dark soil. We have floated over moonlit coral reefs, watching giant fish surrender their defenses to tiny, delicate caretakers. We have sat in the cool, subterranean burrow of the desert tortoise, witnessing a perfect, unspoken truce between creatures who simply wish to share the warmth of the earth. And we have stood beneath the shimmering curtains of the southern aurora, feeling the immense, shared heartbeat of the emperor penguin huddle. In every corner of the natural world, in the highest canopies and the deepest trenches, we have uncovered the same beautiful, enduring truth. The world is not a lonely battlefield. It is a masterpiece of quiet cooperation. It is an intricate, overlapping tapestry of silent treaties. where the most vulnerable creatures find absolute safety in the company of others. Nature reminds us, in its own patient, unhurried language, that survival is a shared project. Flourishing is something we do together. As you lie here, breathing in the quiet air of your room, I invite you to bring this beautiful philosophy inward. We spend so much of our waking lives believing that we are entirely separate from the world around us. We build walls around our hearts. We shoulder our burdens in silence. And we convince ourselves that independence means standing completely alone against the wind. But the truth, the deep, biological, undeniable truth is so much warmer and more comforting than that. You are not a solitary being. Your very existence is a testament to the art of living together. The boundary of your skin does not separate you from the universe. It simply holds a miniature universe within it. You are a walking sanctuary. You are a breathtakingly complex ecosystem, wearing a layer of skin right now, as you rest in the stillness of your bed, doing absolutely nothing but breathing. Trillions of microscopic companions are working in perfect, harmonious unison to keep you alive. They are the ancient, quiet guests in your cells, turning the air you breathe into the energy that fuels your dreams. They are the unseen guardians of your body, maintaining the delicate balance that allows you to heal, to grow, and to simply exist. You are a home. You are a safe harbor for a staggering community of life that asks for nothing but to journey through this world with you. When you feel the weight of loneliness pressing against your chest in the quiet hours of the night, remember this invisible alliance. Remember that you are never truly alone, and you never have been. You are supported at the most fundamental, cellular level of your being. Let this realization sweep through your body like a warm, soothing tide. Allow it to wash away the sharp, jagged edges of isolation. If you have been carrying the heavy, exhausting belief that you must figure everything out on your own, set it down now. Lay it on the floor beside your bed. You do not need it anymore. You are held. You are supported. You are a vital, cherished part of a much larger, beautifully connected whole. As the night deepens, the world outside your window has grown perfectly still. The most beautiful things always come in silence. Just as the ancient roots share their water without making a sound, just as the lichen patiently builds its garden on the silent stone, and just as the stars burn quietly across the vastness of space, the most profound healing happens when we simply stop and allow the quiet to hold us. Before you drift completely away into the restorative embrace of sleep, take a moment to acknowledge the peace you have cultivated tonight. If this story brought you calm, leave a gentle comment for yourself in your mind, a quiet note of gratitude that you can wake up to tomorrow. If you feel called to share your peace with others, leave a comment below the video when morning comes. Don't forget to subscribe to Sleep Deep for more peaceful nighttime journeys. Here, in this quiet community, every story is a soft lantern in the dark, and every listener adds their own gentle light to the harbor. Now, let us turn our attention one last time to the slow, steady rhythm of your body. We are going to let the breath become completely effortless. You no longer need to guide it. You no longer need to monitor it. Just let your body breathe you. Notice how each inhalation is a quiet invitation to relax a little further. Notice how each exhalation is a soft, graceful surrender, Allow your Kwai Ham, your jaw, to completely unlock. Let your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. Let the tiny, intricate muscles around your eyes smooth out and release their hold. Feel the weight of your shoulders sinking deeply into the mattress, melting like warm wax, heavy and utterly relaxed. Let that profound heaviness travel down your arms, through your elbows, all the way to the tips of your fingers. Your hands are open, holding on to nothing. Let the relaxation sweep down through your chest, your abdomen, and into your hips, anchoring you safely to the earth. Feel it wash down through your legs, your knees, your ankles, all the way to the very tips of your toes. Your entire body is now a sanctuary of rest. Your mind is a quiet, empty room, swept clean of the day's debris. You are floating on a calm, dark sea of tranquility. Somewhere out there in the vast, wild world, the forest floor is humming with shared nutrients. The tiny goby is standing watch over the blind shrimp. The emperor penguins are rotating slowly in the dark, passing the warmth from one feathered shoulder to the next. The natural world is moving through its midnight routines, entirely without panic, entirely without rush. They are always cooperating. They are always exchanging. They are always finding a way to continue. And so are you. Let the boundaries of your thoughts dissolve into the gentle, rhythmic pulse of the night. Let the silence wrap around you like a thick, velvet blanket. There is nothing left to do. There is nowhere left to go. There is only the breath, in and out, rising and falling, always cooperating, always exchanging, always finding a way to continue. Sink deeper now. Drift further. Let the quiet current of sleep carry you away into a beautiful, unbroken dream. You are safe. You are connected. You are completely at peace. Good night.